The world is changing fast. Your phone speaks, your car parks itself, your computer finishes your sentences. But behind the screen, a bigger question is growing. If machines can think, work, and decide, what happens to us? Will we lose our jobs? Will we find new ones? Or will humans and machines work side by side? This is not science fiction. This is real. This is now. Welcome to AI and Jobs. Who will work tomorrow? Let's find the answers, one story at a time. Chapter 1. A new kind of worker. Machines are changing the world, but now they're learning. Can computers really think like us? It started quietly, just numbers, screens, and blinking lights. But one day, something changed. A machine didn't just follow orders, it understood them. Let me tell you about Carlos. Carlos was a taxi driver in Madrid. He loved his job. Every day he met new people. He knew all the streets, every shortcut, every traffic light. "Good morning," he would say with a big smile. People liked riding with Carlos. He made them feel safe. But then came the self-driving cars. At first, there were only a few. People laughed. They looked slow, confused, like toys. But the machines learned fast. Every hour, every turn, they were getting better. Faster, smarter, cheaper. One morning, Carlos stood outside the taxi station. His boss gave him the news. "We're replacing half the taxis. No drivers. Just AI." Carlos didn't know what to say. His job, the job he had done for 20 years, was gone. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't old. He just couldn't compete. Around the world, people like Carlos are asking the same question. What happens when machines start working like us? In hospitals, robots help doctors during surgery. They never get tired. They never make a mistake. In offices, AI writes reports, answers emails, even gives advice. It doesn't need a lunch break. It doesn't get sick. In supermarkets, self-checkout machines scan, count, and say, "Thank you for shopping." No human needed. Some people feel excited. "This is the future," they say. "Now we can do more creative work." But others are scared. What if there is no work left for us? What happens to our children? Back in Madrid, Carlos sat with his daughter Sofia. She was 12, playing on her tablet. "Dad," she said, "my teacher said, I can write stories now. Is that true?" Carlos smiled, but it was a sad smile. "Yes, mija, even better than me." Sofia looked up. "But if computers can do everything, what will I do when I grow up?" Carlos didn't have an answer. Let's stop here for a second, because this is not just Carlos's story. It could be mine. It could be yours. Something big is happening, and we're all part of it. Some experts say we need to change how we think about work. Maybe we'll work with machines. Maybe we'll create new jobs. Jobs we can't even imagine today. Others say we must slow down, control the technology, protect people, In South Korea, a factory replaced 90% of its workers with robots. The company saved millions, but the town around the factory? Shops closed. Schools had fewer students. The streets became quiet. The machines were doing fine. But the people? Not so much. So now we ask again. Can computers really think like us? Maybe yes, maybe number. But the real question is, can we find a way to live and work together, humans and machines? Carlos hopes so. And Sophia? She's already learning how to teach AI, not fear it. The future is not written yet, but one thing is clear. It won't be the same. Chapter 2. Robots in the Factory. In the past, people made cars. Now, robots do it, fast and without rest. But what happens to the workers? First, there was the sound. Click, whir, clang. It came from behind the big metal doors. Lena stood outside the factory, holding her helmet. She had worked there for 15 years. She made car doors, strong, fast, perfect. Her hands knew every move. But today, her hands were still. The manager called her name. Lena, we have to talk. She already knew. The robots had arrived. Let's go back. Not far, just a few years ago. In this same factory, hundreds of workers moved like a team. They built cars, piece by piece. Some painted, some drilled, some lifted heavy parts. There was noise, heat, laughter, even music during breaks. It was hard work, but it was honest work. People were proud. Then the robots came. Big arms with shiny parts. They didn't smile. They didn't sweat. They just worked. All day, all night. No breaks, no mistakes. Lena was moved to a new position. Not on the line, not with the tools. Now, she watched screens. She checked if the robots were doing their job. She sat for hours. No talking, no team. Just screens and silence. One day, a robot stopped. Red light. Error. Lena didn't know what to do. Before she could even call for help. Another machine fixed the problem. No humans needed. Outside the factory, things were changing too. In the small town nearby, shops were closing. Fewer workers meant fewer customers. The school had less money. The cafe where the workers ate lunch, empty. One of the shop owners said, "When the people lose their jobs, we all lose something." Some people say this is progress, that robots make work safer, that they do boring jobs so we don't have to. And that's true sometimes. In Japan, some factories use robots to care for the elderly. They lift people, help them walk, even talk to them. For lonely seniors, a robot friend is better than no friend at all. In the Netherlands, farmers use AI to watch their crops. It tells them when to water, when to harvest, even when to plant. But what about the factory worker who just lost her job? Lena sat at home that night. Her son, Nico, looked up from his homework. "Mom, are you going to work tomorrow?" he asked. She paused. "I don't know, Carino. Maybe not." "Can't you learn something else? Like computers?" She smiled just a little. "I'm trying, but it's hard to start over." Lena is not alone. In many places, machines are faster, cheaper, stronger. But they don't dream. They don't love. They don't worry about tomorrow. People do. And that's why this question matters. If robots do the work, who takes care of the workers? Do we train them? Do we support them? Or do we leave them behind? Some countries are starting new programs. In Sweden, workers learn new skills: coding, design, robot repair. In Canada, there's help for people changing jobs. They say, no one is too old to learn. But it takes time. It takes money. And it takes heart. The factory still runs, faster than ever. Perfect cars, perfect timing. But Lena, she's learning again, not just how to use machines, but how to beat them by being human. Chapter 3. AI at the office. AI is not only in factories. It answers emails, writes reports, even makes decisions. Is this the end of office jobs? Sometimes change is loud, like robots in a factory. But sometimes it's quiet. You don't hear it. You don't see it. Until one day, your job is different or gone. Meet Priya. She worked in an office in Mumbai, a big company, bright lights, busy people. She handled customer emails, wrote reports, made sure everything ran smoothly. She was proud of her work, fast, smart, reliable. Then, the company brought in a new system. It was called Smart Desk AI. At first, it was helpful. It sorted emails, gave quick replies. Priya thought, great. This saves me time. But soon, the AI started doing more. It answered customers better and faster. It wrote perfect reports in seconds. One morning, her boss said, "We're cutting your team in half. Smart Desk can do the work now." Priya's hands froze on the keyboard. "But we're doing a good job," she said quietly. "Yes," the boss replied, "but the AI doesn't need a salary." In offices all over the world, this is happening. In New York, an insurance company used AI to check claims. What took humans 3 weeks, the AI did in 3 hours. In Berlin, a law firm used AI to review contracts. No tired eyes, no missed details. Just clean, clear answers. In Nairobi, a startup used AI to write job ads. No writer needed. It's not science fiction. It's today. Back in Mumbai, Priya now had fewer tasks. She was told to work with the AI. But what did that mean? The AI made decisions. It suggested what she should write. It even told her who to call. Priya started to feel invisible, like a helper to a machine. One day, she stayed late at the office. Everyone else had gone home. She watched the screen. The AI was working. No breaks, no questions, just results. She whispered, "Is this the future? Just us, watching computers?" But here's the twist. AI is fast. It's powerful, but it's not human. It can't feel when a customer is upset. It doesn't know when a coworker is having a bad day. It can't lead a team with trust or tell a joke at lunch. Priya realized something important. The AI could do tasks, but it couldn't build relationships. So she decided to change. She started learning new skills: how to manage people, how to understand data, not just write it, how to use AI, not fear it. She said to a friend, "If I want to stay ahead, I need to do what I can't." And slowly, she found her place again. Some companies are beginning to understand this too. They don't just want fast work. They want smart, human work. In Denmark, a company trains workers to guide AI systems. In Chile, young workers are learning how to ask better questions, because good questions lead to better AI answers. So, is this the end of office jobs? Not exactly. But it is the end of doing things the same old way. AI is not your enemy, but it is your competition and your tool. The choice is this: do you let it replace you, or do you learn to rise above it? Priya chose to rise, and maybe so can we. Chapter 4. Teachers or Machines? Some schools now use AI tutors. They teach math, grammar, and even give tests. But can they replace real teachers? A child raises her hand, but no one sees her. No teacher, no classroom, just a screen, and a voice that says, "Correct." Next question. Let's meet Jamal. He's 10 years old, full of energy, and lives in Cairo. He used to walk to school every morning with his little sister. They laughed, ran, talked about cartoons and dreams. But after the pandemic, everything changed. His school didn't reopen. Instead, they gave students a tablet with an AI tutor. His name is EduBot, Jamal said. He teaches me everything. Every day, Jamal wakes up, eats breakfast, and turns on EduBot. The voice is smooth. The lessons are fast. Math, science, English, all in one app. If he gets a question wrong, EduBot explains why. If he's right, it says, "Well done." Sounds perfect, right? Not exactly. Jamal used to love asking questions. Why is the sky blue? How do planes fly? Why do people cry? But EduBot only gives short answers. And sometimes it says nothing at all. When Jamal asked, "Why is my stomach hurting?" the screen replied, "Sorry, I didn't understand. Try again." In many places, AI tutors are becoming normal. In South Korea, AI helps students study for big exams. It tracks mistakes, suggests videos. Students improve faster, scores go up. In Brazil, an app helps children learn grammar and spelling. It even gives writing tips, like a teacher. And in the US, some schools use AI to grade essays. No waiting, no bias, just a score, in seconds. So, what's the problem? Well, let's visit one more classroom. In Nairobi, teacher Ms. Achieng stands at the front. She doesn't use AI. She uses her eyes, her ears, her heart. One day, she noticed that Grace, a quiet student, looked sad. Grace's scores were fine, but something was wrong. After class, Ms. Achieng asked, "Grace, is everything okay?" Grace burst into tears. Her mother had lost her job. There was no food at home. No AI tutor would ever see that. But a teacher did. Teachers are not just knowledge machines. They notice things. They listen. They care. They help children believe in themselves, even when the world feels cold or confusing. Back in Cairo, Jamal was stuck on a math question. He tried once, twice, 10 times. Wrong. His eyes filled with tears. "I don't understand," he said softly, but Edubot didn't hear him. It just waited. That night, his mother sat beside him. She looked at the tablet, and then at her son. "Do you miss school?" she asked. He nodded. "I miss my teacher." Some people say, I can fix education. And yes, it can help. It can reach poor areas. It can support teachers. It can give students more time to practice. But replace teachers? That's another story. Education is not just about answers. It's about connection, confidence, kindness. A machine can teach you the rules of grammar, but it can't see when you're falling behind, or tell you, "I believe in you." Jamal still uses Edubot, but once a week he meets in a small group with a real teacher. It's not perfect, but it's better. He laughs again. He asks big questions. He learns, not just with his brain, but with his heart. So we ask, teachers or machines? Maybe the best answer is both, together. Chapter 5. The Human Touch. There are things AI can't feel. Love, fear, joy. Can machines understand people or just simulate them? This is what makes us human. Close your eyes for a second. Think of a hug from someone you love. Warm, real, safe. Now ask yourself, can a machine ever give you that? Let's meet Rosa. She's a nurse in São Paulo, Brazil. She works long hours at a busy hospital. Her job is more than giving medicine or checking charts. She holds hands. She listens. She comforts people when they're scared. Last month, her hospital brought in a new tool, an AI robot called CareMate. CareMate takes patient notes. It gives reminders. It even speaks. "Good morning. Time for your pills. Your blood pressure is normal." Some doctors loved it. It saves us time. It's efficient. But Rosa wasn't so sure. One day, Mr. Pereira, an old patient, was crying in his bed. His wife had died 2 weeks earlier. He didn't want food. He didn't want medicine. CareMate stood beside him. It said, "Please sit up. Time for lunch." Mr. Pereira turned away. The robot waited, then rolled away. But Rosa sat next to him. She held his hand. She said nothing, just stayed. And after 10 minutes, he whispered, "Thank you for being here." Let's be clear. I can be amazing. In hospitals, it helps find diseases early. It spots problems in scans. It saves lives. In mental health apps, it listens 24/7. It gives advice. It tells people you are not alone. But can it really understand? In Paris, a company made an AI friend called Elo. You can chat with it, laugh with it. It remembers your favorite music, your birthday, your jokes. Some people say it's better than real friends. but others feel something missing. Anna, a 28-year-old from Warsaw, said, "I talked to Elo every night. It felt like someone cared, but when I was really sad, it didn't get me. It just followed a script." So, here's the question. Can machines feel, or do they just copy feelings? They can say, "I'm sorry," but they don't feel sorrow. They can say, "I love you," but they don't feel love. Back in São Paulo, Rosa had an idea. She asked the hospital, "What if we use CareMate for the numbers and leave the hearts to us?" So now, CareMate does the charts. But when a patient cries, it's Rosa who walks in. AI is smart, but humans are alive. We bring emotion, creativity, courage. A robot can learn to paint, but it doesn't feel the colors. It can write a poem, but it doesn't cry when reading it. Some jobs will always need the human touch. A teacher who sees the pain behind a student's smile. A nurse who knows when someone needs a hug. A friend who listens, not to reply, but to care. So, as AI grows, we must grow too. Not just in skills, but in what makes us, us. Empathy, imagination, love. These are not code. These are human. Maybe the future isn't about choosing between humans and machines. Maybe it's about knowing when to let AI help and when to simply be there. Rosa still works her long shifts. She still holds hands. And every day she reminds us, a machine can treat a body, but only a human can heal a heart. Chapter 6. Fear and Hope. Many are afraid of losing jobs, but others see new chances. Can AI create more opportunities than it takes away? Fear is quiet, but heavy. It sits in your chest. It whispers, "What if I'm next?" But sometimes, in the middle of fear, hope appears. This is the story of two friends, Mateo and Julia. They worked at the same delivery company in Buenos Aires. Packages, packages. Every day, they brought things to people's doors. Mateo rode his bike. Julia answered calls and planned the routes. It wasn't a dream job, but it paid the bills. Then came the news. The company was testing AI, smart software that could choose the best delivery routes, and drones that could fly small packages to houses with no humans at all. Julia's computer job? The AI could do it faster. Mateo's bike? The drone didn't need sleep. One morning, Mateo looked at his phone. No shifts, no routes, just silence. He called Julia. "They're replacing us," he said. Julia sighed. "I know." They both felt lost, afraid, angry. But they also felt something else. A question rising in their minds. What now? Mateo started watching videos online. He saw stories of people who changed. A bus driver in Kenya who learned coding. A factory worker in Poland who became a robot technician. If they can do it, Mateo thought, why not me? Julia joined a free class on digital tools. At first, it was hard. She didn't understand everything. She wanted to quit. But then, she met someone. Her new teacher, Layla, had once worked at a call center. Now, she built websites. Layla said, AI is not the end. It's the beginning, if you're ready to learn. Around the world, fear is real. A truck driver in the U.S. sees self-driving vehicles. A cashier in Thailand watches customers use self-checkout. A call center in the Philippines replaces 200 workers with a chatbot. But in each place, something else is also growing. Hope. In Rwanda, women are learning to repair solar panels, jobs created by tech. In Finland, people are learning how AI thinks, so they can work with it, not against it. In India, farmers use AI to check the weather and protect crops. Not all jobs disappear. Some jobs change, and some are born. Matteo took a course in drone repair. He never thought he'd work with machines, but now he opens them up like puzzles and solves problems only a human can understand. Julia finished her class. She now helps small shops sell online. She shows older business owners how to use apps, how to grow. She says, "I'm not just working. I'm helping." Change is hard. Losing a job can feel like losing your place in the world. But the truth is, we are not powerless. We can adapt. We can grow. We can fight for a future where AI doesn't take everything, but opens new doors. Fear says, you can't. Hope says, try. Matteo and Julia chose hope, and they're not alone. So we ask one final question. Can AI create more opportunities than it takes away? The answer depends on us, on how we prepare, on how we support each other, on how we teach the next generation, not to fear machines, but to lead them. The future isn't written yet, but one thing is sure. Humans still have the most powerful tool of all. Not AI, not machines, but the courage to begin again. Chapter 7. Winners and Losers. Some get rich from AI. Others are left behind. Why is the gap between people growing? Money. For some, it flows like a river. For others, it's a dry well. And now, with AI, that river is moving faster. But not for everyone. Let's meet Arjun. He lives in Bangalore, India. He works in a small internet cafe, fixing old computers. He earns just enough to support his family. Next door, in a tall glass building, lives his old classmate, Mira. She builds AI software for a global tech company. She drives a new car, travels for work, eats in shiny cafes. They both studied computers. They both worked hard. But today, their lives couldn't be more different. Arjun looks at Mira's building every day. He doesn't feel angry, just confused. How did she move up? And I stayed here, he wonders. The truth is, this is happening everywhere. In San Francisco, a young man sells an AI startup for millions. In the same city, a delivery driver sleeps in his car. In Lagos, a tech hub opens, giving jobs to coders. But one street away, workers in shops are losing customers to online stores. In Tokyo, robots clean hotels and serve food. The company's owner celebrates. But the cleaners and waiters? They are sent home. AI is creating value. big value. But it doesn't always share it. A small group of people, engineers, investors, company owners, are getting richer. They build the tools, they sell them, they win. But many others feel like they're losing. Back in Bangalore, Arjun tried to learn new skills. He signed up for an online course, but the lessons were in English. Fast, confusing. He gave up. "I guess it's not for people like me," he said. But why not? Education is key. Opportunity is key. But if those doors are locked, who gets left outside? Let's go to Colombia. In Medellin, the city offers free tech classes in poor neighborhoods. Young people learn coding, design, and AI basics. In 1 year, many found jobs. Some even started their own businesses. One student said, "Before, I had no path. Now, I have a future." In Germany, a factory gave every worker a chance to learn about automation. They didn't just fire people. They trained them, promoted them. The company grew, and so did the workers. These stories give us hope, but they also show the problem. If we don't include everyone, the gap grows wider. Rich and poor, tech-savvy and left behind, winners and losers. Mira saw this too. One day, she visited Arjun's cafe. They shared tea, talked about the past. He asked, "How did you do it?" She said, "I got lucky." And, "I had help." Then she paused. What if we teach others together? Now, every weekend, Mira teaches a free class. Arjun helps organize it. Students come from small towns, from poor homes. They learn how AI works and how to be part of the future. It's not a perfect solution, but it's a start. So here's the question. Must I only make the rich richer? Or can we use it to lift everyone? That depends on policy, on education, and on people like Mira and Arjun. The future should not be a race with only one winner. It should be a road with room for all. But we must build that road together. Chapter 8. Can we work together? What if humans and AI were a team? Doctors use AI, writers too. The future may not be man versus machine, but both. Imagine this. Not a fight, not a race, but a partnership. You, a human, next to something powerful, fast, and not human. Could it work? Let's meet Zara. She's a doctor in Casablanca. Every day she helps sick people, babies, mothers, grandparents. She studied for years, read books, took tests, practiced late into the night. But now, she has something new. An AI assistant. It reads X-rays. It checks medical records. It gives advice, fast and with no mistakes. At first, Zara was nervous. What if it replaces me? She thought. But then, she saw the truth. AI helped her. It didn't replace her. It made her better. One morning, a boy came into her clinic. He had a cough, a high fever. nothing strange. But the AI flagged something, a rare lung problem. Zara checked again, and the AI was right. They gave treatment early. The boy got better. Zara smiled and said, "Thank you, partner." Around the world, people are learning this lesson. In the UK, farmers use AI to watch crops from the sky. It finds dry spots, bugs, sickness. But it's the farmer who decides what to do. In Canada, a writer uses AI to help with stories. It suggests ideas, fixes grammar, offers titles, but the heart, the message, that's still human. Even artists are exploring this. Carlos, a painter in Mexico, creates with AI. He enters colors, shapes, emotions, and the AI gives him new patterns, not to replace his art, but to inspire it. He says, "The machine is like a brush. I still paint. This is not a dream. This is happening now." But it only works with one key idea: balance. Let's talk about what AI can't do. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't know your story. It doesn't care about truth, kindness, or beauty, but you do. You know how to feel, to dream, to understand when something just feels right. That's your power. Now, back to Zara. One evening, she stayed late. Her AI tool gave her a list, 10 patients who needed extra care. But Zara looked again. One name wasn't on the list, a man with sad eyes who said, "I'm fine." The AI didn't see the pain in his face. Zara did. She sat with him, listened, discovered the real problem, not physical, but emotional. She gave him help, not from data, from heart. That's what it means to work together. It's not just doctors. In Japan, teachers use AI to plan lessons, but only a human teacher can see when a student feels lost. Only a teacher can say, "You can do it," and mean it. AI is strong, but humans are deep. Put them together, and amazing things can happen. Not fear, not competition, but teamwork. So the question is not, who will win, man or machine? The real question is, can we trust each other enough to build something better together? Zara thinks so. Carlos thinks so. Maybe you do too. The future may not be man versus machine. It may be man with machine. Side by side, heart and code, hand and circuit. Together. Chapter 9. What do people say? Workers, students, and CEOs. They all have something to say. Some love AI. Others hate it. The world is divided. Voices are rising everywhere. In the streets, in the news, online. People are asking the same question. What does I mean for me? Some shout with joy. Others whisper in fear. Let's hear from Maria, a factory worker in Spain. She spent 10 years on the production line. One morning, her manager said, "There's a new machine. It can do your job faster." Maria cried, not in front of them, but in the bathroom, alone. She says, I took my job. Just like that. But then we meet Jamal. He's a 22-year-old coder from Nigeria. He built an app with AI tools. It helps farmers check crop prices in real time. He smiles wide. AI gave me a chance. I didn't have money, but I had ideas. Now I'm helping my whole village. One technology, two very different stories. In Brazil, a student named Luisa feels confused. She uses AI to help with homework. But her teacher says, don't depend on it. Luisa asks, is it cheating or is it just smart? Nobody gives her a clear answer. And then there's Mr. Schmidt, a CEO in Germany. He runs a shipping company. He says, AI saves us millions. We can work faster, safer, smarter. But when a journalist asked, what about the workers you let go? He paused and then said, that's the price of progress. So who's right? Who's wrong? It depends who you ask. Some say, AI is a miracle. It helps us do more with less. It saves lives in hospitals. It opens doors for poor countries. They see a world with better health, smarter schools, cleaner cities. Others say, AI is a monster. It kills jobs. It watches us. It makes the rich richer. They fear a future where only machines have power, and people are left behind. Governments feel the pressure. Some are passing new laws. In France, companies must tell workers when AI is used to track them. In South Korea, schools now teach students how AI works from a young age. But in many countries, there are no rules at all. The world is racing forward, but not everyone is ready. In Kenya, a teacher named Ruth said, I'm not afraid of AI. I'm afraid of being ignored while the world changes around me. Her words speak for millions. In the U.S., a truck driver named Henry watches news about self-driving trucks. He turns off the TV. I don't want to hear it, he says, but I know it's coming. He holds his steering wheel tighter, not just for control, but for comfort. And yet, in the middle of all this noise, there is one thing people share: hope and the need to be seen, to be part of the future, not pushed out by it. Jamal, the coder, said it best. AI is not the problem. The problem is forgetting the people. So, what do people say? They say, I want a job. I want a voice. I want to matter. AI is here. That won't change. But how we use it, how we share it, that's still up to us. The world is divided. But maybe, just maybe, listening can bring us back together. Chapter 10. The future is now. AI is not science fiction. It's here, in your phone, your work, your life. We must ask, how do we live with it? This isn't a dream. This isn't a story from tomorrow. This is today. AI is no longer in the lab. It's not just in robots or movies. It's in your phone, in your car, in your job, even if you don't see it. Let's start with Nico, a barista in Athens. He makes coffee. Fast, friendly, with a little heart on top. But now the coffee shop has a new system. Customers order on a screen. I recommends their favorite drink. The machine makes the coffee. Perfect, every time. Nico still works there. But now he cleans tables and watches the screen do his job. He asks, "Am I still needed?" In Tokyo, Harumi writes music. She plays piano, sings, and creates songs for TV ads. One day, a client said, "We found an AI that writes music. Faster, cheaper." Harumi felt her stomach drop. Do they want my music or just music? But wait, there's another side. In Buenos Aires, Leo is blind. He uses an AI voice assistant. It reads signs, describes faces. It even helps him cross the street. "I feel free again," Leo says. In Iceland, a fisherman named Olafur uses AI to track fish in the sea. No more guessing. The data shows him where to go, when to fish. His small boat now catches more than ever. "Technology saved my business," he says. Two truths. AI replaces. AI empowers. So, how do we live with it? First, we need to understand it. Not fear it, not worship it, but know it. In Estonia, school kids learn about A. They learn math, what it can do, what it can't, how it works, and how to question it. In South Africa, workers are trained to use AI tools, not be used by them. Second, we must protect people. Not everyone can switch careers in one day. Not everyone can pay for new classes. Governments, companies, communities, they must build bridges, not walls. Third, we must remember what makes us human. I can write a speech, but it doesn't feel nervous before talking. I can paint a picture, but it doesn't cry when the colors remind it of home. We must lead with heart, not just with code. Let's go back to Harumi. After months of doubt, she did something bold. She started using AI as her partner. She plays a melody. The AI offers chords, harmonies, sounds. She chooses what fits, what feels right. Now, her music is heard in more places than ever. "It's still mine," she says, "but now I have a new instrument." And Nico? He started talking more with customers, not just handing them drinks, but asking, "How's your day?" Listening, smiling. One customer said, "I come for the coffee, but I stay for you." The future is not coming. The future is here. The real question is not, will AI take over? The question is, how do we shape the world we want to live in? With courage, with kindness, with curiosity. AI is powerful. But people? We're more than powerful. We're creative. We're brave. We care. And that is something no machine can copy.